All right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by another live episode of Real Estate Titans. I'm your host, Greg Fowler, traveling throughout the marketplace, interviewing the top real estate professionals in our field, from realtors, lenders, builders, developers, residential or commercial, essentially gathering insight, inspiration. It really drives and motivates these top producers above and beyond everybody else and what I'd like to consider a real estate titan. Our very special guest and feature titan today, Eric Markowski. Eric.
Greg.
I'm so
Good
excited.
to see you.
This
Thanks
is
for having
awesome.
me.
I'm honored to have you. This is a really cool deal. I'm really excited for everybody to dive deep on you as a man, as a professional, and who you are and what you do in this community, in this industry. So thanks for taking the time, even with the snow.
Absolutely.
Everybody who is not in Colorado, we got this crazy blizzard, power outages, trees are blown over. I mean, several inches, if not feet, in the mountains. So. But despite that, Eric is here. He cares, everyone. So, but I just want to dive in if you're all right with that.
Okay, yeah.
So let's just start with the first question, which is tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, born and raised in Colorado. Lived in Colorado Springs pretty much my whole life. Moved out to Black Forest through high school and been there ever since, and moved around throughout Colorado Springs and everything. Got 3 great girls, got an awesome wife right now.
Love it.
It's just growing up and enjoying Colorado as much as I can, hunting, fishing, doing the outdoors things, and full-time firefighter on the side. So that's my main job, but right now it's real estate and do that kind of part-time. So it's keeps me motivated 7 days a week. So it's crazy.
I love that, Eric, and obviously, you're a Colorado, fan, and you've been here for such a long time, and there's so much change and things that are evolving. I do want to discuss your career path because I find it to be really inspiring and more unique than most real estate professionals coming through. So, if you're comfortable sharing just kind of what got you into the business, but what your career path was and has been to lead you to today.
Okay. Well, so like I said, my career path was I'm a full-time firefighter, enjoy doing it, work locally for one of the local fire departments here. Been doing it now for over 27 years.
Unreal.
Current department I'm with is almost 20 years strong. Love every single day of it. It's always completely a new change. It's not one of those jobs you go to work and like, all right, same job over and over and over.
Here we go.
Here we go. So it's one of those things you just show up and it's like, the tones go off and it's like the instant adrenaline kicks in and you're just off and running out the door. So, and then just the family network that we have going on with all the guys and gals at the firehouse is just, it's phenomenal. So, I couldn't ask for a better family. They always say we have 2 families. You have your personal family and then you got your work family, and that's truly what fire service is all about. Is it's your family. We look out for each other and everything else. So, and getting close to that retirement, I got to start looking, what am I going to do in my future?
Sure.
Can I sit and retire? I'm the type that can't sit down and.
Good man. Good man.
I got to constantly keep going. So I had to figure something out that was going to, take me into the next direction. And that was, what can I do? I've had multiple part-time jobs.
Sure.
Trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I started looking into real estate. I started this back in 2006, started going to school. Then we had the loss of our daughter. So that I kind of put that on hold. She only lived for 17 days. So that was kind of hard for us to go on. So just kind of went about our thing. And then I started getting back into it and worked for a local builder.
Okay.
Once I started working for that builder, I was like, man, this is great. And realizing the clientele that was coming in, that I couldn't go outside and keep that connection going with them to outside of the community that they were building in.
Okay.
So I wanted to say, what can I do to advance that? So I went back to real estate school, got my license, and ever since then I've just been flourishing with it. So, and I think it's probably going to be the future of Eric Markowski going on, and gonna love it every single day.
Wow.
So.
And I love that. I mean, obviously, I think that a lot of your background has translated into the real estate world. I mean, just what you do on a regular basis, saving lives and, being that kind of first responder scenario, it to me is just incredible. But there's a huge level of integrity and character and trust that goes along with that, transferring over to real estate, with you now, your clients, and everybody who's hopefully watching or listening to this,
hopefully,
can really understand who this man is. But I love just the culture of what you mentioned at the firehouse, and then what the culture is here, right? I mean, there's a lot of similarities to that.
Absolutely. The only difference is obviously we spend 24 hours, 48 hours with our brothers and sisters, and then when the real estate, there's times we're spending 12 hours a day with some of those. My team, we're 10 agents strong and on our team, and we spend a lot of time together. If we going out to have dinner with each other, just hanging out, doing whatever, or even in the office, we're spending hours on end, coming up with new innovative ideas in the real estate industry. So it's time consuming, but I love it. At least it keeps you busy.
Passion here,
yes.
This is so important, Eric. This is great. We're diving in. So I want to go on to the next question because I think this is a beautiful segue into it. And this is really important for everybody out there to really get to know you even more, is what's your why? I mean, what really motivates you? What drives you to do what you do to the level you do it at?
Well, my why is obviously it's my family. My family drives me every single day. I've got a huge support system behind me between my wife. My daughter's also a real estate agent.
Awesome.
One of the upcoming new millennial real estate agents.
Yeah.
My other two daughters, and then my granddaughter. They drive me every single day, and all the stuff that plans that we have that we've never been able to do because starting a family at a young age, 20 years old.
Wow.
You want to look at your future. What are we going to be able to do, and what was I not able to do at that time that now I can start focusing on? And I think that's what real estate's going to give to me. Not only gives me a time that I can set my own schedules, but I can go out and enjoy my family. And that's what drives me every single morning to get up and say, hey, I've got my family, go to the fire service, come into the real estate, and I know every single day when I go home, my family's going to be there, supportive, everything. And then just, seeing what they do in their daily lives, especially with my wife being a branch manager of a local mortgage company.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
So she's got a lot on her plate. So our family time is our family time. It's my phone's constantly ringing. Hers is always ringing. We always find that time to sit down with each other and just talk and enjoy our lives together.
I love what you're mentioning there, and to me, I mean, there's so many different whys that are out there and evolving and everything, but to me, family is the most important thing. And the fact that you're all extremely successful and busy professionals, you find that time, you find that balance. So, I mean, you heard it here, everybody. I mean, you can be a Titan and make it happen and still have a balance. So, well, I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's some great whys into it. Now, I do want to switch gears. For everybody out there for the next question, this is actually a crowd pleaser.
Okay.
The viewers and the listeners of this particular show, they love to know what the Titans are doing or have done to grow and scale their business, how they're really winning every day. So if you could look back at your business thus far, Eric, and pick or choose one or two things that you added that took it from one level to the next. What's that look like for you?
I think more focusing on, one set lead generation system. I've gone through everything, different CRMs, advertisements, functions out in the community, just focusing on one set thing that would make that business flourish, because when you have your hands in so many different pots, you start losing sight of what this one is doing compared to that one.
Good point.
So I got to focus on that one thing that's going to keep me going, and finding that right lead system.
Okay.
Once I get that going, it's going to just take off and run from there.
Love it.
And anywhere I go, that's where it's going to end up being.
I think that you mentioned a really good point. It's the fundamentals of the proper systems, and then spending your time and focusing, because there's so many of us professionals that are out there that it's the next shiny bell. I want that edge. I want to continue to move and grow. But I think just really building that foundation, fundamentals that work, and then as time goes on, you can add on and add on, but don't try to be everything to everyone and do everything all at once. That's huge advice out to everybody else, for sure. Anything else that sticks out to you? Or?
No, just focus on phone calls every single day.
Okay.
You got to sit in behind a computer on your phone, whether it be in your office, whether it be at your home, be in your car. I've driven by people and I know you interviewed a couple agents, and one stuck out in me in particular was Cisco, and him. I used to work at Keller Williams all the time.
Shout out to Cisco if you're
watching.
Hey
Cisco, what's up? But anyways, he had a great system. As he would go drive around, sit in parking lots, make phone calls, and that system worked for him. And just trying to find that system for me, I tried it. It didn't work for me, but going out and doing something different, and that for me is, you know, just being in the community, networking with everybody, and, you know, a fire service, I've got a lot of connections, and I just, you know, we just talk shop is what we end up doing. So, and then eventually the business starts coming around, and, you know, just going to different functions, and anytime I meet somebody, I'm like, hey, here's my card, and I get phone calls off of that, and, you know, I always end everything, is there somebody that you know that I need to know?
Wow.
And that actually makes a big difference in the world, and people start giving referrals out, so it's great.
Huge wealth of knowledge, everybody. This is great. This is super good.
I don't want to give out my secrets, but
not everything. Off camera, we might write some notes. But no, Eric, that was really good. Hopefully, everybody took some crazy notes on that, because it's really good advice and fundamental. So I do want to go on to the next part of this particular interview, and this is the tricky part. It's the challenge question. Now, you might have already previously alluded to that. I'm not sure, but we all deal with challenges in our life, and whether it's in the past, now, or in the future, no one's exempt. But I truly believe that no matter what happens, the important thing is that what we're learning from the situation and how we're able to take that in a positive in whatever way we can and grow from it. So if you're comfortable sharing a challenge you dealt with, you came stronger because of it, Eric, what's that look like for you?
You know, my challenge has really been just, you know, trying to find something that meets my lifestyle, that meets my personality, what I like doing, and I think a lot of it was, you know, I'm not a big public speaker. So trying to talk publicly to multiple people is just definitely hard for me. Interviews, I'll be honest, I go to interviews and I get nervous as heck, and by communicating with future clientele, current clientele, my communication skills, I think, have improved quite a bit. So
no nerves coming out of here. I don't know, but you guys leave comments down below. But I think he's amazing.
Be nice on the comments, please. So, but you know, it's just that. That's one of the tribulations that I'm trying to overcome, and you know, just I talking to somebody, I can just talk on for hours with them, and you know, kind of find out their background, their personal history, and you know, finding something out to them, you grasp onto it and you hold on to it, because you eventually meet them, and whether it be a friend's name or something that's happened in their life, I just grasp onto that and hold on to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, that's big for a lot of people that are out there, and when you're talking about, you know, having that anxiety, you know, the piece that comes out through engaging, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's in a you know, on stage sort of scenario, or even if it's a networking event. I don't know anybody out there who doesn't have certain levels of butterflies and things along those lines. My takeaway, and I know that this is going to hit a lot of professionals out there, because we all have nerves. That comes across the board. This is something that was shared with me a long time ago, was when you're in a situation like that, if you feel a certain way, there's almost 9 times out of 10 that somebody else in that audience, somebody else in that scenario is feeling that same kind of awkward butterfly. So just reach out, just talk. I always look for somebody who's all by themselves. If it's an event and they're alone and they're out with a group of people, I just reach right out and I just want to introduce myself. And most of the time they're just so excited that somebody said something. And it doesn't matter how old or young you are, this is the case. But I love that you shared that, because I think that's really important for a lot of people. We're all human. You know, don't worry about it. Just go out and do it. And practice helps, right?
Oh yeah. You know, it's like any interview that I go into. You know, you print out all your questions, you write out every single possible answer you can think of, and just practice. You know, there's times I go to meet, you know, some, you know, even $1 million listing or a high price listing I go out to, and it's like, I got to practice this. I got to know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sound like, well, you know, I'm just here to try to get your listing and sell this house for you. It's one of those things, you want to make sure you know what you're doing, and you know, have your systems in place and have your presentations ready to go, and you got to practice those before you even go into them. And if you can show that you're confident enough in whatever, you're going to score it all day long.
Wow. That's big.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, again, appreciate you sharing that challenge and things that are going on that way. It's not easy to do, to bring stuff up, but sharing that with everybody, again, lets us all know we're all human.
Absolutely.
It's very important.
Yeah.
So if you're all right, let's shift on to another question.
I'm good. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So this is actually one of my favorites. It's a little bit softer. It's the travel back in time question. Okay. So if you could travel back in time and give young Eric a piece of advice or two, any age range, what would you say to your younger self?
Oh, man.
You're like, well, hold on a minute here. This might be episode 2.0.
Yeah. This could go on forever. Mine would be more just don't settle.
Okay.
Always strive to advance yourself, gain more knowledge, and excel in whatever you do. You find people that just like, hey, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. But what are you happy about doing it? And try to find out how they can excel.
Sure.
I've got one agent right now that he's Travis Blackman. He's paralyzed in a wheelchair right now, and he's just he's finding his ways to get going. And it just tell him to keep driving, and he's doing that, and he's succeeding in the business again after his major accident that he had. So he's got some new listings coming up on the market, and.
Wow.
Just strive, and that's what I would tell myself younger is just focus and get the job done, and you can just keep on going from there. So just by excelling, if you excel, you're going to overachieve what you want to do, and that's where you're going to shine.
Well said. I think that a lot of us need that piece of advice as a reminder. It's so true to everybody that's out there. I love that you mentioned Travis. He seems like such a great guy, and we've engaged quite a bit on social media, but I don't believe I've met him, but I feel like I know him.
Yeah.
And he just seems like such a kind heart and genuine person. So, hey, Travis, if you're watching, shout out for sure.
Yeah, great guy. He's motivated, the most motivated guy I've ever seen, especially with tragedy, and he's motivated. So I think he's probably one of my, he's younger than me, but he motivates me, just seeing what he's able to do. So if I ever had an incident like he's ever had, or been paralyzed like he's ever been, I think that was one guy I'd look back on and say, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it.
Wow, huge stuff. Yeah. This is great. So. Yeah. Awesome stuff, not just for young Eric, but everybody who's watching and listening. This is really, really good. I want to go to the next question, which is actually a huge crowd pleaser as well, which is the feeding the mind question. So many professionals want to know what the Titans are feeding their minds, how they're growing and really scaling up here. So if you could look back, some books you're reading, podcasts you're listening to, influencers on social media, coaches, Eric, how are you feeding your mind?
I feed my mind by, I'm not a big reader.
Sure.
But when I find that book, I'll engage into that book and stay with it. We had a book that we had to read actually for the fire department.
Okay.
And it was an assignment that we had to be given for our shift, and it was It's Your Ship. Phenomenal book.
Wow.
It's a leader that kind of stepped back, gets in the dirt and grind with all the workers, the brothers and sisters, and basically gets them to step up their game and drive that ship to where it needs to be, and just act like, you know what, I don't know how to handle this situation, how are you going to handle this situation?
Wow.
And gets their minds to think.
Sure.
So that's one of the things. And then that MREA book, Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Yeah.
That's another great book. And then, some other fire service books that I've read, Step Up and Lead.
Okay.
So that's another good one, First In, Last Out. So big influential books for me, and I think it's developed my leadership skills, leading the great team that I've got now of the agents that we have.
Sure.
I'm not a, get it done this way. This is the way it needs to be done. Just kind of sit back and, let them drive their minds and see what it is. Another big influence of mine was Paul Goldenbogen.
Okay, yeah.
You sit with Paul and
shout out to Paul.
You come and sit with Paul and talk to him, and the first thing you do is say, well, how would you handle that situation? And you would explain it to him, and he goes, well, you're on the right path, but this is how we could do it. So he kind of guide you, but he want to see what your thought process is. And I think that's what I'm kind of doing with my agents, is get their thought process going and then lead them in that direction of where they need to go.
Wow.
And just lead by example. How would I want to be led is what I would want to do with other agents, and my team members.
I love that, Eric. I mean, there's so many good takeaways, and again, for all those books, that's awesome stuff. I know that the audience is always looking for fresh information to feed their minds. You'd mentioned, Paul, a phenomenal reputation in this community, a fellow Titan. He's just a wealth of knowledge, and the fact that you're really guiding and growing your team in similarities is huge. I mean, it's just great stuff. But I will have all those books in the comments down below so you guys can feed your mind the same way that this man is. Super excited about Eric. This has been chock full of awesome information, really diving deep into who you are and what's going on. So hopefully everybody really got to know this guy a little bit. But I want to finish up with a final question. And this comes down to the quote or mantra that you live by that sums you up as a man, as a professional. What's that look like for Eric Markowski?
Oh man, there's so many different things, but the one thing that really steps out to me, being with Keller Williams for this past year, and then prior to that I was with another Keller Williams, and I didn't really hear it until Joyce Hefner, who's my mainly employing broker right now, or big wig over at Client's Choice, is instilled into us, but it's the why I foresee two T's is what it is. So, and after reading about them, listening to them, kind of focusing in on those, I think it kind of sums everything else that I've talked about into kind of what I am, and I'm trying to live by those. And the big one is win-win or no deal. And then integrity, do the right thing. You got to do the right thing in order to get that business from people.
Right.
Customers, they always come first. Customers are always first. Customers, working in retail and everything, they always tell you the customer's always right. You got to focus on what the customer is, and we don't hire clientele.
Sure.
Clientele hires us,
right? And
we work for them. So they're our bosses. They tell us what they want and how they want it. So we've got to live by that. So commitment, it's in everything that we do every single day. Your commitment to your family, commitment to your jobs, commitment to just about anything you do. You've got to have that commitment there. Communication. What else can you say about communication?
It's huge.
You don't have good communication, you're not going to go anywhere. So creativity. You got to figure out the idea before you get the results.
Sure.
You have a good idea, put it into play and see what results you get from it. If it doesn't work, go to another situation.
Right.
There's another idea, see what results you get out of it. Teamwork. Real estate's a teamwork business, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So everybody works as a team. And then trust. And finally success, results through success. So however you make your business successful is how successful you're gonna end up being in your future. So by living by that, and then finally never let go of your dreams. So I think back to one of the other books that I've also read before was if you think what you want to have come natural to you, and you can sit there and say, I want to be able to travel, I'm going to have a successful business, I'm going to have a flourishing career. You think that will come. Negativity will destroy all that in a heartbeat. So, and by thinking of those two things, I think that's what's going to drive me further and be very successful in real estate.
I love it, Eric. I mean, I feel that everything you just mentioned there really, truly sums you up beautifully, and it really given everybody a huge window into you. You are an official real estate titan, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Again. This is awesome. Everybody, thank you as always.
Thanks again, guys.
For your time and attention, your love and support. If you like what we're doing here at Real Estate Titans, don't forget to throw a like on the Facebook page. Subscribe to YouTube and iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts if you're into the audio format. Live every Tuesday and Friday, a different Titan, a different location. We'll catch everybody on the next live episode of Real Estate Titans. Take care. And we are almost